Psalm 110 verse 1, the Lord said to my Lord. The Hebrew divine name of God, sometimes pronounced Adonai, is translated in English as either all caps Lord or with a capital L to distinguish it from the lowercase Lord, the Hebrew word Adon, or in the case of Psalm 110 verse 1, Adoni, my Lord. The latter is used for humans and sometimes angels, but never for God. Now, there are many other Old Testament verses you can compare Psalm 110 verse 1 to see this distinction. For example, Numbers 36 verse 2, where you have the divine name, where you have God commanding Moses, called Adoni, my Lord. But as you can also see from this interlinear, when it comes to Psalm 110 verse 1, they render that second Lord with a capital L. And this is true for most English translations of Psalm 110 verse 1, where they continue to confuse the capital L Lord, that is Adonai, with the lowercase Lord, Adoni. A plethora of study Bibles, encyclopedias, and commentaries have for centuries now added to this confusion. For example, the Encyclopedia Americana, 1949 edition, in Psalm 110 verse 1, Yahweh said to Adonai. This passage is cited by the Christ to prove that he is Adonai seated at the right hand of Yahweh, Matthew 22 verse 44. It's clear then that in this lyric, Yahweh addresses the Christ as a different person yet identical in Godhead. The New International Version, New American Commentary, the second Lord, Hebrew Adonai, not Yahweh, can only be the Messiah. Ryrie Study Bible, NASB Expanded Edition of 1995, update. David hears a conversation between the Lord, all caps, that is Yahweh God the Father, and David's Lord Adonai the Messiah. The ESV Study Bible on Judges 6 verse 13, where the word Adoni is used, the term is literally my Lord, capital L, that is the Hebrew Adoni. Gideon uses the same term to refer to God in Judges 6 verse 15, Lord, capital L, that is the Hebrew Adonai. And then you have prominent scholars like E.W. Bullinger in his companion Bible. My Lord, again with a capital L, equals Adonai, see Revelation 4, verse 8. That is David's Lord, again capital L. That is the Messiah. Compare Matthew 22, verses 41 to 46. The late Dr. Larry Hurtado in his commentary on the Gospel of Mark. The first Lord, capital L, is the Hebrew name for God, Yahweh. The second Lord, again capital L, renders Adonai, roughly equivalent to the English Sir or Lord, and the Greek Kyrios. The noted Christological scholar of our time, the late Dr. James Dunn, in one of his first books, Unity and Diversity in the New Testament, published in 1977, he notes that the Hebrew of Psalm 110 verse 1 uses two different words, Yahweh and Adonai. Now, some time ago, I wrote to Dr. James Dunn to clarify what he said here about Psalm 110:1 using both Yahweh and Adonai. His reply in part said, Dear Carlos, are you missing the point that Adonai is simply a regular way in Hebrew of writing my Adonai? In Psalm 110 verse 1, Yahweh is speaking to my Lord, my Adonai. Adoni means simply my Lord / my Adonai. And you are right, it is a non-deity title referring here presumably to the king. And then he asked, but do I misreport it in his book Unity and Diversity? Which was an odd question to ask since I was writing trying to clarify the misreporting. The bottom line is this. The Bible is not a story about two Yahwehs, but one Yahweh, the Lord God, the Father, and his uniquely procreated human son, the Lord Messiah. He is not Yahweh Messiah or Adonai Messiah. It would not only be nonsensical to say the anointed Yahweh or the anointed Adonai, but nigh blasphemous. You can check all 195 occurrences of the Hebrew word Adoni, my Lord, which never means God, or if you can, talk or write to a rabbi, or if you're lucky enough to travel to Israel, ask your tour guide if you can call someone in Hebrew Adonai. You will also find that the LXX, also known as the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Hebrew, will support what the rabbi or the tour guide will tell you. The Greek supports the Hebrew reading of Adoni and not Adonai is further confirmed by some lexicons and dictionaries, like NIDA's A Translator's Handbook on the Gospel of Mark. The Greek is a translation of the Hebrew, said Yahweh to my Lord, as quoted here, Kyrios, Yahweh is God, while the second Kyrios mu, Adoni, my Lord, is the Messiah. If, however, ambiguity arises from this double use of Lord, the meaning may be conveyed by the Lord or God said to my Messiah. The Theological Dictionary of the Old Testament on the word Adon notes that the LXX translators often render Adonai not by the Greek Kyrios mu, my Lord. Lastly, note that the Hebrew compound word used by David to address his Lord, in the Greek translated as tokiriomu, is never used for God. Examples of this abound in the Greek translation of the Hebrew scriptures with Abraham, Esau, Saul, David, Elijah, and the king of Assyria. Again, God is never addressed as to my Lord, Hebrew ladoni, in the Greek tokirio mu.